Hey guys, welcome to another video. So today I'll be reviewing Palace's last 3 games since the season has resumed. So we started off with a win and 2 defeats. So I'll just be, obviously as I said, reviewing all of those and giving my opinion on what we improve on, aspirations for the rest of the season, that kind of thing. So obviously the season restarted and we had Bournemouth away first. A game which obviously, if all of this hadn't happened, I would have been going to. And in the build up to that game happening, I was thinking, it's going to be a tough game. Bournemouth, fighting for their lives. They obviously want to stay in the Premier League. Us in a more sort of comfortable position, a sort of outside chance of Europe. But we need to, win to get the momentum started up again. Then we'll sort of have an idea. It was a very comfortable game. We controlled it. I felt from start to finish. Bournemouth didn't have a shot on target that really troubled Guaita until the second half. We got our goals quite close together through Milivojevic and Ayew. We looked solid defensively. We didn't make any errors. We looked good in the midfield. Good in the forward line with Zaha, Townsend, Van Aanholt and Zaha linked well together. Ayew and Benteke, it's very good. Benteke was winning the headers. And it just was a complete performance. And, you were just thinking, wow, they've obviously been working on something during, the season suspended. And they've been working on stuff in training, things like that. And, it made me certainly feel very confident, going into the rest of the season, the rest of the second half of the season sort of thing, after the suspension. And, obviously I look at our fixtures and we have got a tough run of fixtures, there's no doubt about that. But, there is an outside chance because of how tight the league is. There's a chance we get Europe. And obviously I'll get back into that in the latter stages of the video. But anyway, a 2-0 win against Bournemouth started off the resumption of the league in the perfect way. A win, a clean sheet, and a good team performance. So anyway, our second game was against Liverpool away. And with that, obviously Liverpool, they had started off their resumption with a 0-0 draw at Everton. And obviously there were people saying, Liverpool, it might take them a bit longer until they win it, that kind of thing. And obviously us having started off this resumption so well, people think, maybe Palace can have a chance. I was thinking more along the side of, let's just give it our all, and at least give them a game, because that's all you can do, at Anfield, but Liverpool haven't lost Anfield for so long. The last team to beat them at Anfield was obviously Palace. But that was a couple of seasons ago, So it was always going to be a tough ask, to even get a point against them. When obviously before the game, I found out obviously Guaita was injured, and we had Hennessy in goal. Unfortunately, at this moment in time, or his last few seasons, Hennessy has sort of dropped his performance levels. He hasn't been sort of the keeper that he once was at our club, so it didn't really fill me with great hope. Unfortunately, in the game, Zaha got injured. I found out that in the warm-up, he felt something twinge, but he said to the coaching team, yeah, I'm alright to play, and then he got injured in sort of the first few minutes, so that sort of destroyed the rhythm of the team. And obviously Benteke got injured. I don't know if he got injured during the Bournemouth game or during training, but that was our focal point up front, gone. I also feel that as well, after Zaha went off, we didn't set up very well. The team just Zaha's gone off, let's just, defend. And, it was easy for Liverpool. Alisson in their goal could have just been sat in a chair the whole of the game, you know what I mean? It was very comfortable for Liverpool. A stat that not frightens me, but is like, oh my god, that's how terrible we were, was we didn't have a touch in a Liverpool box in the whole 90 minutes. That is shocking for a Premier League team, or for any team, to not have a touch in your opponent's box in the whole 90 minutes. That's shocking, and that sums up the way we played. You know, at the end of the day, yeah, it's Liverpool. Yes, their squad is 10 times better than us. But, you know, you just got to fight. You know, in the past, we've beaten Liverpool at Anfield, and we've beaten Liverpool at home a few times. You know, so why play so negative? And yeah, it was just a poor game overall, unfortunately. It was just the setup was all wrong after Zaha went off, and you know, three key players as I've already mentioned were out, but I'm not using that as an excuse, I'm just saying it. And unfortunately when they scored their first goal, it was inevitable. It was going to be a comfortable night. Obviously I didn't expect from when they scored their first goal for it to be 4-0, but Liverpool, on the day, look, I'll praise Liverpool because they were very good, you know, and ultimately, since that results happened, they've now won the league because of obviously Man City losing to Chelsea. But you know, we can't make it that easy for them. They're a fantastic side, and you know you can't do that. And you know, for their first goal, yeah, it was a fantastic free kick, well struck up in the top corner by Alexander-Arnold, but Hennessy literally gave him the whole goal. And I'm sorry, you know, you don't have to be the best player in the world or whatever. You don't have to be as good as a free kick taker as Trent Alexander-Arnold to, you know, place it where the goal is, you know. If you were given the whole of the right side of the goal as Hennessy gave Alexander-Arnold, then, you know, all you've got to do is get a good connection on it and you're more than likely to score. I'm not taking anything away from his free kick because it was very good, but it was shocking. Hennessy had a bad night, and I'm pleased to say now Guaita is back in goal. But as I'm about to review, Guaita didn't do much better. So yeah, frustrating night on that, heavy defeat, and not what you wanted. You know, we've had sort of a good defensive record, so it was a shame to concede that much and get our goal difference not looking so healthy. But yeah, it's the best team in the league and they can do it to anyone. But it was just frustrating with all that stuff that happened, you know, that it was a 4-0 defeat. So going into the Monday night, Burnley at home, our first match at home, with all the behind closed doors stuff like that. And obviously with how the table's looking and all of that, there was a chance for the winner of the game to go 8th place, which for a club like Crystal Palace, like Burnley, you know, it's mad at this stage of the season to be saying that. With that, you know, I felt we lacked fight during the game, especially with the first half. We let Burnley dictate possession. We let them get the ball down and play. We let Dwight McNeil run the game in their midfield. We just sort of left to Phil Bardsley to get all the crosses in the midfield, from the left back position, sorry. And we let Vidra bully our defence, even though, you know, we got some good, tall, strong defenders. You know, we let Vidra bully us. We let the Burnley centre backs, me, and Tarkowski, win everything. And yeah, it was just poor. You know, Burnley are a physical side, and they always have been, and they probably always will be. And to, you know, not battle with them, you know, it just beggars belief, really, in my opinion. I thought throughout the game the passing was poor, especially Luka Milivojevic and Kouyate in the first half. It was very poor. Luka would pass back, poor touches, sideways passing, Kouyate the same, and it was just poor. And as well, with Benteke still out, why insist on doing long balls up to Ayew? You know, Ayew's about my height, 5'6", 5'7". Why do long balls when you're up against Ben Mee, who's like nearly 6 foot or is 6 foot? You know, it just doesn't make sense. And I thought as well, credit to Burnley, because, well, most teams do that, but credit to them. You know, they got 2 or 3 players on Zaha. Zaha couldn't couldn't do anything and struggled. Then he got frustrated, and that's when he plays poor. It's unfortunately a feature of Zaha's game, and is why if he, goes to a top club at the end of the season or whatever, there's going to be a wake-up call for him, because he just gets subbed or dropped. And, obviously with Palace we can't afford to do that. But, it just goes to show, if you play Zaha well and, get on him, stop him from doing what everyone knows he can do, then, he's just going to get frustrated, and that's when he plays poor. And that is what happened. I thought Ayew as well, as I already mentioned briefly, was very isolated. Playing up front on his own pretty much. As much he works very hard, but unfortunately, the way we decided to play with the long balls up to him, it just doesn't work. It really, really doesn't work. I felt we sort of had to be a bit more a passing performance sort of against Burnley. Get out to the wings, use the wings. We didn't use the wings enough in the first half, or for the first sort of 60 minutes of the game. And it was easy for Burnley. It was very easy. Second half, sort of the first few minutes, or the first 20 minutes of the second half started the same really. We were still sloppy. Burnley got their goal through Ben Mee. It was a good header. I'll give him that, because he got in front of the man. It was quite powerful, but looking back on it, terrible goalkeeping from Guaita, unfortunately. He could have saved it. He really, really could have saved it. Looking at it in real time and slow motion. Slow motion makes it look worse, but in the real time, I felt he could have saved it. Looking back at the replay, he really should have saved it. But for what Guaita's done for us this season, the amount of fantastic saves he has made for us, and when we've maybe gone 1-0 up and decided to stop playing, and it's been a bombardment at our goal, he's saved us a lot this season. So out of a few mistakes he has made, I'll take this one on the chin in terms of Guaita, but he really, really should have been saving that. And then sort of that goal sort of kick-started us into action, which is a bit annoying considering it's a 90-minute game. Why the last 20 minutes decided to play, I don't know. But, we made a change. McCarthy coming on, Max Meyer came on, and we did look very good. We should have scored. We really, really should have scored. At least got a point out of it. But Burnley throwing bodies in front of the ball, a bit of better finishing for sure. And we definitely could have got a point out of the game, maybe even all three. Great sort of chance for Cahill, Ayew, Zaha had a great chance. And yeah, it was just very unfortunate. It's a time where you don't want a performance like that to come out, and unfortunately it has. As I mentioned, as I'm going to mention in the next few minutes, the league is very tight. A win and that, and like Burnley, they won and they're 8th. Well, obviously at the time of recording this video, they've moved down a bit with other results, but it's a fantastic opportunity to try, and get into Europe. For a club like Palace, for Burnley, and you see other teams now that are getting a Europa push for Europe going. It's a great opportunity, and I don't want our season to just fizzle out, and end up finishing like 12th, 13th, 14th, whatever. Because I think we're quite far away now from whoever 18th now. I think it's Bournemouth who are 18th. Maybe Villa, I think now, because of Bournemouth lost to Newcastle 4-1. We're very far away, and it's an opportunity. So it was a very frustrating performance. And hopefully I'm working on it in training. Hopefully there's some changes from Hodgson that he makes in the lineup, when we play Leicester on Saturday. And even with that game against Leicester on Saturday, it's an opportunity. Leicester have started the resumption of the Premier League poorly. They were third with a comfortable cushion, you say, over the 4th, 5th, 6th places. But, they've lost. They've lost 2 and drawn 1, I think, in the Premier League. They haven't looked great. And, it's an opportunity. We can go at them, go at Leicester, try and get our season. Because, if we win, we can go 7th. And, with everything that's going on, it's an opportunity. So, yeah, overall, after the positivity that was going through the camp and through the supporters after that really good performance against Bournemouth, it's all brought us back down to reality after 2 defeats in a row, hammering at Liverpool and annoying and frustrating defeat against Burnley. But yeah, that's what being Palace fan is all about. So, as I mentioned throughout this video, obviously it is the tightest league we've had for a while. So there is an opportunity. We're only 4 points away from Arsenal at this moment in time, who are 7th. With obviously Man City's appeal happening, 8th could be a European spot. So at this moment in time, we're 11th or 12th. I think 11th. There's an opportunity. Get a good run going, and you never know. We could finish 7th, or even higher up than that. You never know. But really, you got to ask yourself with Palace, do they want it? That's what you ask, because a lot of the supporters are, thinking in the back of their minds, can we get it? And after sort of the Bournemouth match, we're thinking, yeah, we're looking good, we're looking like we want it, and then we have a result like that against Burnley, and you make you think, do they not realise that there's a slight chance of a European place on the line here, and that's what frustrates me at this moment in time as a Palace fan. There's a chance of European place. As a Palace fan or as a Palace player, you might not get the opportunity again. And to put in a performance like that against Burnley, that's what's so frustrating. Obviously, as well, the bench, with obviously the injuries we've got and had since the season's restarted, the bench looks weak. I was looking at the bench against Burnley, and apart from obviously Maya, McCarthy, Sacco and Riedewald, you couldn't really call on anyone else. And out of those sort of 4 I mentioned, you can only really say, one is a great attacking option in Maya, and one is sort of a like-for-like swap in McCarthy for a midfielder. And there's 2 sort of defensive options in Riedewald and Sacco. But then you've got youngsters on the bench, like Mitchell, Perrick, the only 2 you sort of look at and think, yeah, they can maybe, if you throw them in, do something. Perrick, obviously, around sort of the Christmas period into January, he played and he looked pretty good in the sort of cameo he made. But then we played him in the cup game against Derby and he didn't look that great. So maybe, it's taken a backward step for him. But as you always say, youngsters, you're only ever going to get better, or your confidence only going to go up if you play games. And you've seen at Man United, you've seen at Arsenal, you've seen at Chelsea what's going on there. You've seen at other teams. You play youngsters, and if they do well, then you don't have to spend that money on a player. And I feel maybe we should just chuck them in the mix. It's like what we did with Wan-Bissaka. We chucked him in at right back because we had an injury crisis against Spurs, and he put in a really great performance. And then he was one of our best players. He won Player of the Season award. Then he got a 50 million move to Manchester United. So what does that say? There's an opportunity. Maybe Palace are just a stepping stone club. Maybe they are, but there's an opportunity for a Palace youngster to come in. If they play well, cement a place in the team, in the starting 11, then maybe they can get a move to a better club for big money, and then they've got a great career ahead of them. Maybe I'm just being a bit negative, I guess, but there is an opportunity there, and maybe that's what Hodgson should look to do. Why not? We're in a comfortable position. We're enough points clear of the relegation zone to try it. Why not? But as I said in quite a few videos ago, there has got to be a massive overhaul of the squad at the end of the season. You know, we've got, I think, nearly the second oldest, if not the oldest squad, average age of the squad in the Premier League. And, you know, we need young players to freshen up the squad. We need to bring in young players, see if we got some good academy players, you know, and bring them in. And, you know, we've got to freshen up the squad. You know, yes, you can say, yeah, it's an experienced squad, and yes, it is. But, you know, you need that youth to come in. And, you know, because at the end of the day, we need it to rebuild. You know, you look at Chelsea, and they are rebuilding. Yes, they've got a fight on for the top four, and yes, they lost last night, but you look at what they're doing, and they're rebuilding the squad. They've got rid of older players, and they've got young players that have come through their academy. All the players that they're bringing in are young. You know, and that's what's got to happen. You know, they brought in for next season Ziyech from Ajax. You know, I think he's about 24, 25, maybe even younger than that. They brought in Timo Werner from Leipzig for next season. You know, again, he's like in mid-20s. You know, so that's what the players are, that's what Chelsea are doing. You know, why can't Palace do that? Get rid of sort of the older players, you know, that maybe want one last chance at another club, and get some young players in. You know, there is some good players in the academy that we have got, and, you know, that are on the bench, that if given a chance, you know, they might flourish. And there is some young players, obviously, that we're interested in. Obviously, there's loads of young players around that if we've got a good enough sort of scouting department, they can be looked at and bought in, you know, not for a hefty fee, you know, get the right price, don't get mugged off by other clubs, bring them in for a fee that's going to, you know, represent a good worth on it instead of, you know, a hefty fee like, you know, we've paid for players in the past. I won't mention it, but you can probably guess. And, you know, and let's go again. You know, we are in a good position, as I mentioned throughout this video, in the league to try stuff. But, you know, it's got to be a better performance than the performances against Burnley and Liverpool. And we've got a chance to go again and show ourselves against Leicester. You know, Leicester, as I said, aren't in great form. They're lacking confidence. They're not playing as a Leicester we know and have been all season. And there's a chance. There's a chance we can beat Leicester. And we've gone to Leicester and, you know, won there for a few seasons now. A couple of seasons in a row we've done Leicester at their place. And, you know, it's an opportunity. And, you know, with obviously, as I mentioned, the chance of potentially 8th place being open because of Man City's appeal, that potentially being a European spot, there's a massive, massive opportunity. And I really hope, you know, as a Palace fan, you know, we don't just, you know, let our season fizzle out and then sit there looking back at the season wondering, you know, if we had got a run together, you know, if we had played a bit better in these games, if we'd maybe given this player an opportunity, you know, what could have happened. You know, I hope it's not like that. I hope, you know, we try our best. You know, if we get close to 8th or we just missed out, but we gave it our all, then I won't mind. If we get an 8, if we, you know, put an amazing run together, finish 8th, you can say, yeah, you know, that's what we're capable of. If we just let our season fizzle out, we'll finish 13th, 14th. I don't want everyone to sit back going, well, you know, I don't want to be sitting there looking back at our season and think, what if? You know, I don't want it to be that. There's an opportunity there. Why don't we try and take it? You know, it's not going to come about. It probably won't come about ever again, this opportunity. So why not take it? Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're a Palace fan, you stumble across this video, what do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you think we can get Europe? Or do you think our season's going to fizzle out and unfortunately finish about 13th, 14th? What do you think we need to change? Do you think we need to change your formation? Do you think certain players need to be dropped? And do you think we should give some younger players a chance? Obviously, we've got Leicester this weekend, so I may do a video on this, or I may just let 3 games run again and do a video like this. But, you know, that's so far. It's obviously going to be tough with the fixtures we got, but let's go. As I said, there's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get this, to potentially get in Europe with the 8th place, potentially being a European spot. And, you know, we're in a good position, and let's see. So as I said, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Take care guys, and goodbye.